Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Today we'll see how we can deploy a scenario to a prod environment. Okay, so basically, when you talk about Workfront environments, typically you'll have um, an SB01 environment, which is nothing but Sandbox 01 environment. You will have a preview environment in Workfront, and you'll also have a production environment in Workfront, right? We'll have these three environments for sure. Okay, so what we do in Workfront Fusion is that we create um, these particular teams. Okay, we create team for SB01. We create team for preview. We create team for production. Okay, we create these three teams, right? And typically what we do is we do the development in SB01 environment. Okay, we do the development in SB01 environment. We do the testing in SB01 environment. Okay, and once the scenarios are tested, we move the scenarios to the production environment. How do you move to the production environment? We just simply clone the scenario from SB01 to the production environment, to the production team. Okay, that's what we do. Okay, so let's try to see that. I mean, there are some steps which we shouldn't miss. So let's make sure that we do not miss all the steps by going through these steps one by one and make sure the production environment is, I mean, the production deployment is successful and you're up and running in production. Okay, so let's go through the steps. Okay, first of all, what we need to do is we need to do some preparation. Okay, so if you see here, we need to clone the data structure first of all. Okay, so basically you need to clone this data structures from SB01 to the production environment. How do you do that? So let's just go to the scenario quickly. So here we have one data structure here, right? And let's try to clone it. And if you clone it, it will ask you for the target team. So then select your prod environment. So just imagine that this is SB0 team, and if you click on this drop down, you will have an option for um, production. Okay, prod or production, whatever you have named, and then you click on clone and it will be cloned to the production environment. So that's how you do it. Okay, so now um, let's go back to the slide here. Yeah, so that's the first step, and then let's go. Okay, that's the first step. And what we need to do is, after that, create a data store. So you need to create the data store in the production environment, um, you know, manually. Basically, there is no option to clone the data store. So just click create the data store manually, and then you also need to refer the data structures that you created. If need, I mean, the data structure should be also referred to the data store, right? So make sure that you refer that as well. And then global variables, usually we could declare all the global variables at the beginning of the scenario. Just make sure that you take a note of all the global variables. For example, you might be you might be declaring a variable called um, uh, Workfront ID or something, right? That Workfront ID might be different in the production environment. So make sure that you note down all the global variables in a notepad so that you can easily copy paste it after the deployment. Okay, so that's the thing that we have mentioned here. Prepare and document global variables for post deployment reference. Okay, webhooks. Next is webhooks. So basically, make sure that you uh, also note down all the webhooks that are needed post deployment. So basically, how many webhooks are there in your scenario, right? You need to take a note of that, and also the configurations of the webhook. Just make a note of these details in a notepad so that you can easily create a webhook during the deployment. But when I say deployment, cloning. Okay, so next step is moving the scenario to production. Okay, so clone the scenario. So just go here. So let me show you that. Just go to the scenario. Okay, so let's say this is my scenario which I want to move to production. Okay, so you have something called options here. Click on that and then click on clone. Okay, and then it will ask you for the target team, right? And then you need to click on this drop down. There will be a pop-up for production, there'll be a drop down for production. Just select that, and then you need to refer all the connections. You might have to refer the connection. You might have to refer the data structures, data stores, um, um, and you might have to create the webhooks as well. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Okay, refer the data structures, data stores, and you have to create the webhooks as well manually. So that's what you need to do, okay, to be honest. And once the cloning is done, once you complete the cloning, just name the scenario appropriately, okay, and then save it. Okay, after that, please make sure that you do a quick smoke test to make sure that the scenario is working fine, um, before activating the scenario. Okay, so basically, if you follow these steps, um, the production deployment will be smooth, and it will not cause any problems. Okay, I hope this was useful. If you have any queries, please do let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to reply to you. Okay, thank you so much. Have a nice day.